months, many people have become concerned about two-tier policing. Now, I should say this is from some police officers and not from all. You might think this isn't an issue to be mentioned today, but I, for one, am glad that people are waking up to this, because for many years, pro-lifers have heavily borne the brunt of this discriminatory practice by some. I can think of countless times when myself or fellow pro-lifers who pray or offer help near abortion centres would be sworn at, spat at, threatened, or even physically assaulted by intolerant locals. The police we spoke to would tell us that nothing could be done about this, even when confronted with video evidence. We were advised, if you don't want to be assaulted, you don't have to come out of your house. Yet some police have been very swift to act against the silent, imperceptible thoughts of pro-lifers. Myself and others have faced the full force of the law simply for silently saying our prayers. Many will know I was arrested for praying in my head near a closed abortion centre. I went to court along with the amazing priest, Father Sean Goff. We were acquitted, but only 2 weeks later, I was re-arrested, being told my prayers were an offence. The case was eventually dropped, yet still, when I turned up for my weekly time of prayer, either police or police community support officers would quickly arrive to issue tickets, telling me I was being fined for breaking the law. I had to eventually resort to making a claim against those police for unlawful arrest, false imprisonment, and assault. And it was only with threats of a court case pending and the knowledge they couldn't hide those discriminatory practices any longer that the police finally agreed to a settlement. Now, you might be thinking, have I forgotten the real victims here? Are my concerns solely about two-tier policing and the risks that some pro-lifers might have to take to ensure they aren't completely suppressed? No. I bring up the topic of two-tier policing to highlight a deeper issue, one that's existed in our country for over 55 years. That of two-tier justice. We have a fundamental human right that's afforded to every single person in this country, from the frailest pensioner to the busy career man or woman, every mum or dad, teenager or child, every immigrant, legal or illegal, and even to each criminal in our prisons, but not to the most vulnerable and innocent of all, the preborn child. They are denied the most basic right, the right to life itself. When the law fails to acknowledge the dignity of each and every human being, it's teaching citizens to only respect each other when it's convenient. And we're surprised that we have discord in our country. There will never be peace in our country if we don't first have peace in the womb. And this must be upheld in law. Our most basic form of justice must apply to all, or it ceases to be justice and becomes selective privilege. Life is not a privilege to be earned, but a gift bestowed on us at conception by Almighty God. For too long now, we have tolerated, supported, or even partaken in the wanton destruction of a whole swathe of our society, whilst lying to their parents, manipulating them into believing that it's merely healthcare. Abortion isn't healthcare. It's a lie. Oh, we know the truth. We know what it means to be pregnant. Every woman and man knows that when you see that positive indication on a pregnancy test, that you're having a baby and a new life has started. Every woman who has a miscarriage knows she's lost her child, her baby. Even the government recognise it now with baby loss certificates. So we know the truth. But the truth has ceased to matter to us. We have fine-tuned the art of burying it at will. Abortion isn't healthcare. It's a farce. Abortion providers and some of our biggest health organisations who support them wrap up abortion with a charade of pro-woman rhetoric, hiding behind a smokescreen of counterfeit compassion. When we look at the abortion providers and all who support them, including most of our current government, we know we're up against giants. But we also know giants can fall. Amen. Those who set themselves against life set themselves against God. And to date, that's never ended well. Abortion isn't healthcare. It's eugenics. The unthinkable has already become reality. Each year, we eradicate around 250,000 children in Great Britain alone. Our abortion law teaches us that those who have heart defects, Down syndrome, cleft palate, or any other kind of imperfection are some kind of subhumans who can be eliminated right up until the day of birth. Mark this. The worst aspects of humankind are the choices we make for ourselves, which no eugenics program can ever rid us of. Those who aren't perfect in their physical health or in their mind, they enrich us all, and yet we screen them out like weeds. Abortion isn't healthcare, it's warfare. We treat innocent preborn children as the enemy, with less rights than a prisoner of war, annihilated simply for existing. Children can't be sent back to their maker like an ill-fitting item of clothing that we buy on a whim. Rather than welcoming each child as a beautiful gift, we treat them as a cheap day return, slamming the door in the face of life before it draws its first breath. This war is also against women who, after having swallowed the falsehood of abortion, often end up in hospital with complications and are then cast aside with their grief, grappling to make sense of the years of pain they endure, which result from a clinical procedure which was merely healthcare. Abortion isn't healthcare. It's an abomination. And one in which we all become complicit by our apathy or our silence. It's not enough to think that abortion is wrong. The world won't be changed by our opinion. We must fearlessly live out our beliefs today, not waiting for tomorrow. Make no mistake, there will be consequences to this. Consequences that will be inconvenient for ourselves, for our family, maybe even cost us very dearly. But in our hearts we know we have been chosen for a time such as this. If we fail to speak out, there will also be consequences. For some, there will be no tomorrow, because abortion isn't healthcare, it's a death sentence.